Good day, brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 6 of Step Into Your Power with Brother Jimmie and Sister Honey C. Golden. We're excited that you're here with us today. This week's title, and I'm going to show you this beautiful image, is Before the Roar of Leo. We've got a new moon in Leo coming this week on the 24th, so very exciting. But before the roar of Leo, the sacred pause that prepares you, we're entering the new moon in Leo, a time of heart-centered courage, radiant self-expression, and sacred rest. In this episode, Sister Honey and I are going to go over we're going to explore why stillness is a sacred strategy, the healing power of rest, and reparenting. Some of you might not know what reparenting is. I did not know exactly, but I've been hearing Sister Honey talk about it, but I know now the myth of pushing to prove your worth, how true rising begins in surrender, not striving. And also, we're going to be going over some free tools that you're going to be able to utilize as we continue to see the Earth's energy increasing, its frequency going up, and also how we can all help each other take care of Mother Earth and keep her in very good, peaceful situation. This episode here is sponsored by Body Align Energy Wellness, which offers frequency-based tools for energetic balance and protection, vibrational alignment, and overall well-being. So important. Go to bodyalign.com/power. Also, the link is in the description wherever you're watching this video. This is the sponsor that helps keep everything we're doing free on the inside of the community, besides our Ascension Mastery program. So much, available for free to help people with the ascension and what they're going through. So before we hand this off to Sister Honey, I got a little bit more I have to read here. We are entering the new moon in Leo, a time when the heart of the cosmos pulses louder than before. But before Leo roars, it rests. This is the sacred pause before the rise. Leo teaches us that before the fire can lead, it must rekindle within. So tonight, let's stop performing for approval and begin aligning with our soul's rhythm, not for the world's applause, but for ourselves. Over to you, Sister Honey.
Yeah, I think that last part's the most important. So, right now, what are we doing? We're really going inward quite a lot. And anybody that's going outward right now and looking for joy and happiness in the outside world, they're seeing drama and soap opera chaos, basically. So, that's not fun. And we're really not interested in that right now. And it's part of a movie playing itself out. So just enjoy being with yourself, do things that make you happy, and that energy is going to spread out. And we're getting ready to kind of build the new world. And that's
Beautiful.
something that's getting talked about a lot right now. So getting your energy aligned with that, planning things, and you don't have to plan the details. Just say, I want to create something. What is it? Write down what you want to create. And maybe you want to get started on it. Maybe you want to create a website to get started with it, or you want to go and pick out the area where you're going to put it. But start doing something that's an action step to help it manifest.
Yeah, that's a powerful thing, Sister Honey, is manifestation by actually taking action. It's
Mhm.
like something that we're doing in Ascension Mastery, where we're going to be putting in the spiritual communities. So I plan on this month or early next month listing the Las Terrenas spiritual community. And that even though it's in conception,
Mhm.
conceptualization, the very first thing to man when you want something and you put the right energy behind it is also to take that step, like you just said, and put it in writing and start, manifesting it for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. I have somebody working on those concepts that I have given them 4 hours a week. So they're like working and I'm paying her to do this stuff so that we are ready when it's
Right.
time to jump into this stuff. And my projects, a lot of them are online, and this one will be physical and online. So it's just really exciting right now. And I think getting ready for abundance, getting ready for receiving is important too, because we're not going to be working so hard in the future. Nobody's going to have to work hard to survive. That is like an old 3D concept.
Yeah.
And we're going to break free of that. And it will be up to the person how free they break free of it too. Like maybe they will have a certain amount and it will be enough that it covers everything, and the worry will start to filter out of their body and they'll start to let go of that, but they'll still do something else for their extra things that they like to do. Maybe they'll still have a part-time job, and then
Or
people will just be just creating constantly with abundance. So,
yeah, it's sacred. It's sacred to pause. It's not a setback because most people in this matrix we're in,
mhm,
this false matrix that's collapsing, they always feel that if people take a break or they pause to just chill, that it's a setback. And one of the things that I'm really super excited about, I told a few of the business partners that I have, I said, look, I'm not going to be working, Saturday nor Sunday, and I don't want any kind of communication. If it's a 911, we got teammates that can handle different parts of that. If it
mhm,
needs me, then fine, but that's like the last resort. I'm going to tune out and tune in to Mother Nature, to the ocean, to the rivers, to the waterfalls in Dominican Republic, and I'm going to really spend time with Mother Nature where I don't do it as much here in Austin
right.
as I would like to. Down there, I'm doing it every morning. So I think it's important that people, take care of themselves during this time and definitely take some pause and relax and understand that, worrying and getting, upset and letting your body take over your mind and living in the past and living in the future and worrying about every single thing, well, that just becomes your reality. So you got to turn that around. So
Mhm.
what do you see like Leo coming in? There's been a lot of energy going on, Sister Honey. And so what do you think this new moon in Leo is going to be? What's going to mean for people? What is it pushing? What energy is it pushing?
Courage.
Courage.
So we have to have the courage to change. And in order to change, we have to let go of our old idea of who we are. And a lot of the things that we've been taught in the past are not in our highest good. Some of them are that we have to work hard for our money. We have to really show that we're worthy of love. It's conditional. Love is conditional. We have to do things that maybe we don't like in order to get what we need. All that stuff is crumbling down. The future is about integrity, it's about sovereignty, and it's about courage to step into who you really are and let go of the stuff that we've been taught in the past that isn't good for us because it was meant to keep us small.
Yes, yes. It's interesting you say that because I'm looking at some of the things when I was going back and forth looking at this Leo new moon, and it talks about courage and visibility, and we are definitely getting visibility. There is
Mhm.
no if and buts about that. And when you look at the Schumann resonance of planet Mother Earth, and I've been doing a couple different things. The one thing that you heard that I needed to do with the funnel I'm doing, but also after you did your whole Mother Earth meditation, for Mother Earth and settling
Mhm.
her down, keeping those, like you said, those volcanoes, keeping them just seeping and
Yeah.
just, and I've added that to my morning meditation because there's so much power in the one, the one person. Someone doesn't understand their frequency, vibration, and their energy when turned into good and into the light, it really helps boost the overall positivity of the light, for keeping things from, I mean, we could have went into one blast from the sun, three quarters of
Yeah.
the people burnt, dead. and that could have been the changeover. Or, Yellowstone pops off, and within a year, everybody's in nuclear winter, and that could be the changeover. But, the divine creator has been, and with us, I think, because it's in us and we're in it, that we're changing that, at least in
Mhm.
this timeline that's happening. But Mother Earth is experiencing a lot of stuff herself. You want to speak on that? Because I think that's important. What does Leo and the new moon bring to Mother Earth? Because, people don't understand. They say, well, you're talking about new moons and stuff. Oh, is that from the devil? No, it's not, because signs and wonders are in the heavens. And
Mhm.
also ask, an emergency room worker or a person that works the jail whether the moons affect the tide, the moons affect our energy, the moons affect us. So overall, what do you think this moon, you said courage, but how's it going to affect Mother Earth? And what do people need to do to handle these energies coming in?
Stay calm for one thing. Keep to yourself if you need to. And what I would say, so Mother Earth, when the moon came in, so when they hung the moon came in. There are stories from the Native Americans and probably beyond that where there was no moon. Okay. So we now have a moon. And what is this moon for? This moon actually took all of the cycles that were from Mother Earth and they got placed on the moon. So now everybody says, well, what's going to happen? It's look at the moon. What's the moon cycle? And the moon got all the attention. The attention actually should be on Mother Earth for when these things are going on. So she's the one with the courage. She's bringing in the courage and she's having her planetary brothers and sisters help her with that. So when you have a new moon or you have a full moon, it's part of her cycle. So if you can remember that and give her the attention and say thanks for the nightlight up there, then
Right.
you're helping Mother Earth quite a lot. And she just wants us to spend time with her because the more time we spend with Mother Earth, the more time our body's going to have to recalibrate and the more we're going to feel the fifth density that we're in. So when you're still kind of obsessed with the 3D, and let's say that you live in a penthouse or something, you live high up and you don't put your feet on the ground, then you're disconnected from Earth
Yeah.
and you're not sharing energy with her. And it's harder for you to feel the fifth density, feel the change that has occurred here. Yeah.
It it's been a big change. I mean, I've never felt anything like this in my 60 young years on this planet. And it is, even with the fact that I would say that I've been doing this for a while. So I'm not like most people, but this energy's been blurring my vision. It's been going right down to my neck over here. I've
Yeah.
got to go in and clear my chakras out. The energy comes flowing, and all of these little things are happening on my hands simultaneously, like pulsating stuff. So it's really exciting to see this going on. And I really feel people need to just slow it down, breathe through your nose, pump in your stomach, hold it for about 4 seconds, breathe out slowly, hold it for a little bit, breathe in again, just do that. I mean, I spent 43 minutes doing that breathing. I know
Wow.
brother Brad did that for about, 5 things, but and I'm not saying anybody should do that for 43 minutes in the beginning, but building up to that, the amount of energy that I'm uh, you know, firing up in my body by doing that is an amazing thing. So I'm putting that shield on. I'm strengthening my energy shield. And we were talking on the last episode about having a sanctuary.
Mhm.
Regardless of what moon is where and where what moon is, even though that's important to know because of the energy, having like this office is my sanctuary. I have my stuff in here to protect me from the harmful effects of EMF radiation. I got my salt lamp, I got my crystals, I got my Suge. I've got my beautiful healing frequency music. I really create. I got my candle. I mean, so creating that sanctuary, everybody should have that to where they can go and get away and just breathe and pause. And I found myself on Sunday sleeping in for like 2.5 hours more than I regularly do. And I'm just being kind to myself. I'm letting myself rest without judgment and just, loving myself more. Because I
Yeah.
haven't done that. Most of my life I ran myself, you know, 18 hours a day.
Ragged. Yeah. Yeah. And it's about the body right now. So we've come into the fifth density, we've come into the fifth dimension. Everything's happening faster and faster. If you're being cranky with someone, you're going to get like an immediate reaction, maybe not from them, but from something. So everything is very quick, and that's part of the fifth dimension. But also, the body is upgrading. So our nervous system is upgrading and our digestive system is upgrading right now. And when your eyes go blurry, that means they're upgrading too, because that's been happening as well. But it's also a pineal gland upgrade, like a cleanse is happening. But there's so much going on with the body, and it's time now to reconnect to the body, because a lot of us, we've been extremely spiritual, or we've been extremely obsessed with what's going on in the world.
Right,
Haven't paid much attention to our own body.
right.
So it's time now to really do that, because the body is shifting back to its original blueprint. And to be present in this fifth density, you need to pay attention to your body, because it's your vehicle here.
It is. And, I keep on getting this download over and over again. Slow down, Jimmie. I want you to take 2025. I want you to go through everything. I want you to look at everything in every area of your life. I want you to do cleaning, house cleaning, prepare
Mhm.
the barn, the stables, the storage units for 2026. That we
Yeah,
better get ready for 2026, because the blessing that's going to pour on this planet is going to be for the ones that are ready, so that we
right.
can help lead and build this new world. And I'm really super excited about what we're doing. And I want to show this real quick, a totally free community over at Step Into Your Power community, stepintoyourpower.com, and join for free, because there's just beautiful things happening over there. Talk about people, from all different stages, right? Seeker stages, from
Mhm.
waking up to expanding with overflow and all the in between, and then seeing them working together, all sharing journey and praying for each other and meditating together and joining our lives, and all of that that's happening, and all the beautiful comments coming in. I just would say anyone that needs any type of help at all, they need to come over and join us, because there's a lot of stuff going there. And then these new projects that'll be coming out, some projects that are already out that are in, take over something that's not good for us. And then these communities we're talking about, the spiritual communities and other projects of people that are within the Ascension Mastery are going to be bringing to the table. I mean, it's just like that. It looks like that whole platform is going to, well, let's say portal, let's say community, you
Mhm.
know, but it looks like it's really going to play a major role in the building of this new situation that we're doing. Based on what I'm seeing, there's like
Yeah.
almost 5,000 people in there, and I
Mhm.
haven't even opened up the databases of all the spiritual people that have been involved in other things with me, which is about 170,000 contacts. So I mean, we've been, it's only pre-launched April 30th, so we're coming up on 90 days,
Yeah.
and what I'm seeing in 90 days is just divine.
It is divine. And what I see it as is an all in one platform. And I see it as a huge hub for ascension. So if you want to really improve your own life, then you'll want to see and go look into Ascension Mastery. If you want to find people in your community, like close by, that live close by, then you will join for free and you'll start looking around for people in your
Yeah.
area because that's available. But I see it as an all in one platform, and Earth was created for communication. It was created so that we would let go of polarity and all the species, I'm talking ET, ET, all the different beings, architect, angelic, all of them would be able to talk to each other. So it
Right.
was a place where we're supposed to come together and actually speak to each other. And what happened? It got yanked into 3D by by a group that wasn't ready for polarity to end,
Right.
right? So guess what? It's popped back in to the 5D. And we're there now, and now we're sifting through all the baggage from the 3D and we're letting go of it. But that's going to be a place where you have support, where you find your tribe, where you share
Yes.
information. And I'm just so excited about it because I know it's in its infancy right now and it's already so good. And we're really enjoying it. We're enjoying doing a lot of the free stuff that's in there. But
Sure.
there will be things that you'll want to pay for in there. And there will be projects that maybe you're actually doing that get to be highlighted in that platform. And these are a lot of things I've been thinking about for a long time, but I never thought they'd be able to all be in one place. And I think for simplicity, it's completely beautiful that everything is going to be in one place and you don't have to go search everywhere to find something to take you forward.
Yeah, and collaborate. The
Yeah.
baby boomers again are pushing the wellness industry forward in a big way. The baby boomers, because they're a very big pop demographic, big demographic, and a lot of them, they're really searching for spirituality and the truth and the honesty. And what I love about bringing together these communities, like my project will be in Las Terrenas again, Dominican Republic, where the backyard is the mountains and the front yard is the freaking view of the ocean, and the energy is off the chain. But community gardens, self-sufficiency with every single thing, dome living, not
Mhm.
square places where the energy gets stuck in the corners, but everything dome living, everybody's place built in their perfect feng shui positions. I know people say, well, Jimmie, that's crazy. Feng shui. What are you talking about? No, billionaires use feng shui in their office. I use feng shui in my call center. And when I put people into their success position, their sales almost doubled. So I know that it works and I do it. I'm facing where right now, Southwest. That's my success position. Even my desk, if I look straight out my window, is west, which is my love position. Southwest is my success position, and that's what I do my work at, and it works. And none of that stuff is taken into consideration, nor the materials within the building. What's their frequency? What is their frequency? Is this frequency a problem? Like the electrical wiring and all the different
Mhm.
stuff that causes problems, smart meters, all of the EMF radiation that's soaking into people's houses. So, I was excited to hear about your father, and I know he's with the divine again, and he's up there in the soul family. But the fact that he's written 40 books and that he was putting together the blueprints for these spiritual communities. So I'm really excited about that in the future coming out for
Yeah.
humanity, because I think that I think also this was just a great community, say platform portals inside, for that also to be brought out, because in 90 days with very very little promotion at all, none paid it whatsoever, almost 5,000 people in that
Mhm.
community, and the engagement and the love and the prayers and all that is happening. Imagine when that's 50,000 and then 500,000 and then 5 million, and us coming together in Ascension Mastery where people can become guides and help us with these spiritual communities all over the planet where we're anchoring the light. And then we've got technology that's going to go on these communities that people don't even know about. The negative ion generators, they clean up the environment, they clean up the soil. I mean, they just kill the GMO stuff. And so there's so much beautiful stuff that's going to be happening within them.
Yeah,
It's just amazing.
it is amazing. Yeah, there's so many pieces of technology that are now starting to show up and not being suppressed anymore. And when I was tapping into the future, I was getting that we're going to use atmospheric water.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited about that. And it's been invented already, but I think it's going to become very normal to not need to be drilling to get your water and not needing to drill to get oil either. Like, we're not going to need to take from Mother Earth in order to get what we need. It's going to be very simple. And we're going to have a temperate climate too. So there'll be so much water in the air at that point. But there's just so many things that are shifting right now. And people kind of, I feel like there's some discombobulation with everybody because a lot of things are up in the air, but you can then see all the things unfolding and you can feel it in your body because we've started to let go of the drama. So we're letting go of drama that has been perpetuated for hundreds of years, thousands of years, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was looking at another note on Leo's new moon about, but the Leo new moon whispers something softer. It asks, can you be seen by your own soul? So it's interesting because, and this is where true sovereignty begins. This pause is not punishment, it is the throne room of your rebirth. And, that's an interesting statement there because as I've been getting closer to the oversoul of who I am, and I'm
Mhm.
getting fractals of myself in different whatever multiverses, all this stuff that's been going on with me. Um, it's just pretty interesting, but it is important that again, it's about the relationship. It's about dedicating time to yourself and understanding that what you said about transparency and honesty, integrity, all of these things, love, unconditional forgiveness. This is where we're going, and the people
Mhm.
that don't vibrate that are not in that frequency, they're unfortunately going to be either recycled back into childhood and go through the process in a better timeline, because
Yeah.
it's going to be better than what it was when we cycled through it. This pre-parenting thing. I'm looking at, we're going to talk about that a little bit here in a few minutes. And I was talking about that's about, how you're treating yourself and nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself more than what your parents did. And, I went through a pretty rough childhood. Not that I'm dwelling in the past. I forgave my dad and I before he passed away at 54. We were best friends. I mean, I loved him. I forgave him. But he did literally knock the living, what out of me. And being, the first year of Generation X, and I think you're a few years in Generation X,
Yeah.
um, there was no like what the Generation X did for their kids, where we coddled our kids because we were treated like rough. You know what I mean? There was no problem.
Mhm.
Drink out of the hose, stay out till 12 o'clock at night. I mean, there was a lot going on that made us, I want to say hard, but made us harder than these other generations. And it's nice to see so many baby boomers and so many generational X individuals that are stepping up to the plate to help
Mhm.
lay that foundation for the millennials, for the Generation Z, for the alphas, which are just amazing. You want to speak to that, sister?
Yeah, so that goes to the waves of volunteers, and that is what we're doing. Basically, we came here for a certain purpose. So the people that woke up really early and have been paying attention and have been investing in certain things and basically creating wealth for themselves and sharing it. Because a lot of Generation X people, their kids still live with them,
Yeah,
even if
I'm one of
they're
them.
older. Yeah. So that, is a creation of a foundation for younger people. And younger people don't want it to be hard. They're more clued into that it doesn't have to be.
Yes.
So basically, we're here to build the foundation. So Generation X, and if you're older than that, if you're a baby boomer, you were probably one of the scouts. So you made it okay for us to come in, for Jimmie and I to show up. And you're going to be able to participate in all of this stuff, but you're not going to have to work so hard. You can enjoy the projects, you can enjoy the kids, just have some fun because you paved the way for us to come in, and then we came in and we're going to build the foundation. And then there are bridges, and they will be the ones who live in the communities, learn, and raise the children that are basically going to take us all the way. So we're in the fifth density. We made it. The earth split already. We don't have to be stressed anymore. It's time to let the old fall away.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. But all the generations have a job. And the kids, they're amazing and they will have no veil. And they know how to use their DNA and it's intact.
Yeah, I look at my little baby Noah grandson and the energy when it's hitting the planet. And the reason I'm looking up because his monitor is like, you're up here, Sister Honey. Um, so he gets all excited and he's like full of energy. And I mean, babies are full of energy anyways, but it's just you can see this glow, this just beautiful soul, beautiful spirit. And the children that are being born now are so much smarter, I would like to say. They
Mhm.
know more, they're more aware. I think they're more aware of their past selves too. And it's exciting that we get to do this for them, that we get to lay this foundation, leave this planet in better shape than what it was when we came in, like with clean oceans and clean water. And you were talking about the air machine. I have one of them in my garage where it takes water, out of air. And so, using this new technology, cleaning up our soil, cleaning up the atmosphere, building these spiritual communities, getting like minded people together. Imagine, 50 or 100, you had talked about 100 places in one of these communities, anywhere from 50 to 100. Imagine having 100 people living in a community together, all self sufficient on the latest technology, with one of the devices we'll talk about in the future that cleans up the atmosphere, that cleans up the soil. I mean, one of these devices, not the biggest one, but the one that will go in these communities, covers 140,000 acres.
Yeah.
140,000 acres. So as you start putting these devices in all these communities throughout the world, and what does these devices do? They're like a negative ion machine. And if you look at negative ions, what it does for people's health and for Mother Earth, when we cut down half our trees, and we should have been using hemp, industrial hemp, and
Mhm.
not cutting our trees down and polluting our ocean where all of this negative ions come from. Um, it just like reversing all of that, being involved in reversing that. Like Florida's made it illegal now to do chemtrails. You can't do chemtrails in the skies in Florida. You can't do that at all in Dominican Republic. I mean, you can see the stars and the sky is beautiful, the food, but it looks like we're moving in the direction where they're going to clean the food up, they're going to clean the
Mhm.
environment up, they're going to clean the water up, and we just keep on with our energy and with our meditation and with that power that we have because we're created in the creator's image. We just keep on making that happen with our will.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're here for. So we're here to really pave the way. And the people that are Jimmie and I's age, we're the lions. So think of it that way. You are a lion. You're probably watching this and thinking, am I a lion? Yes. Almost every one of you is a lion. And what does that stand for? It stands for bravery, courage. And think of the lion species. They were also fun. They're the rock stars of the universe, which I've said today already. But just think of them. I mean, they're solid and they're not pushing anything. They're not, out there pushing to get ahead. They go and they eat when they want to, and they rest a lot, but they're strong. So think about that and what you want to do, because everybody has an inspiration coming through from their soul for this time period. And we're going to be building this new amazing place. So, what do you want it to look like in your town or in your state or maybe beyond, maybe in another country, even?
Yeah, it's interesting because this community thing's been on me. I've been talking about it publicly for a few years, and I know you've also
Mhm.
been talking about it. And it is the next step. We got to get back into these type of communities like what the Indians did,
Yeah.
and really live off the earth in relationship with the earth, in love with the earth, treating the earth, understanding that we're inhabitants of the earth. We don't own the earth. We
Mhm.
are we are lucky that Mother Earth is letting us all stay on here with all the negativity that's been going on for these thousands and thousands of years. But at the end of the day, Mother Earth's ascending. The people on it have to ascend with it. If you don't ascend with it, it's going to be a problem. There's a lot of things happening with the energy. This moon's one of them. And one of the things is everybody's always worried about, proving their worthiness. You don't need to prove your worthiness to anybody.
Mm-mm.
You are already chosen, already worthy. You don't have to prove yourself by doing a whole bunch of stuff to anybody. You just need to take care of yourself and put out that right frequency, and you're participating. With
Yeah.
your meditation and your frequency. Everybody's so worried about proving themselves. That ego gets in the way. I got to prove
Mhm.
myself. I got to be the best. I got to do this. And I was caught up in that, for many, many, many years up until recently. You know what I mean? I'm a very competitive individual. I like to win. And, to let go of that after being raised in a household where my father was reliving his childhood through me, a very abusive childhood he had, both sexually and physically. Luckily, mine was only on the physical side, but he was reliving that whole childhood through me. So I had to play every sport: football, baseball, track, wrestling. And if I whined to him as a Golden Glove champion boxer and a boxer in the Navy, it didn't go over
Mhm.
too well. It's like living with a Marine father or a drill sergeant. But the one thing that I can tell you is that is a very difficult thing for me to let go of that more and more, of wanting to win, wanting to do that, and letting it understand that, Jimmie, it's okay to relax. It's
Yeah.
okay to go with Cindy over to the waterfall. It's okay not to shut it down because you can come back tomorrow or the next day. It's okay to take a couple days off.
Mhm.
People are so caught up in proving their worthiness and performing, whether it's for family members or coworkers or whatever, that they don't just take the time to love themselves, pre-parenting, and just slow down. I'm slowing down. Even though I see this picking up, I love it because how I'm slowing down is I'm getting other things out of my life that aren't worth my energy.
Yeah. Well, and you're taking the time to take care of yourself every morning, and
Yes.
you're changing your routine, and that's what we all need to focus on right now is what do you want your routine to be? I know I've changed like so many things over the last month for my own body and paid so much attention to my own system like never before, because it's really important right now. And that's where we're at energetically, is it's time to self-care. And in self-care, we're going to be able to maintain ourselves while we do these projects and actually have joy while we're doing them, instead of feeling like, oh, I got to go do this and this and this and this. We are not rat race people anymore. And we're going to let go of the rat race completely, because that is not how we're going to function. And it's not good for your nervous system. And I don't think the nervous system would accept that in the future, because I know it's shifting quite a bit. And little things that wouldn't irritate you in the past, they now irritate if they're not in your highest good.
Yeah, I noticed that because one of the things I've done, throughout my life and even into this year, and it's been clearing out, is procrastination
Mm-hmm.
with people that aren't really serving the objective of what we're doing, right? What's going on, like what you're doing, this person might have been with you for a long time, but they just are coasting along and they're not moving forward. You have to clean everything up, whether it's your business or it's your personal life or your wellness or whatever. Just like you said, I've been eating different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
More things are like these downloads that are coming to you are making me more aware of all of this. And it's okay again to rest and relax and chill out and take it easy and take a day off and take a weekend off and go hang out at the beach or go into the woods or go to the creek. Go do something. Go hug a tree. Go meditate against a tree. Start loving the planet again. And don't listen to any of this crumbling news going on, because it's just like, it's a show. It's interesting you say this, Sister Honey, about a movie. So back in 2015, when I was meditating, the Divine Father said to me, sit back and enjoy the show. That came into me as clear as I said it. I said it on video at that time, publicly. Sit back and enjoy the show. And I can tell you, since 2015, it's been one heck of a show. And where it's headed is really super exciting, but people
Mm-hmm.
need to stay focused on the positive and don't give their energy to the crumbling in any way, shape, or form, because if they do, they could be part of that crumbling.
Yeah, the only energy that you want to give to the crumbling is saying, oh, awesome, it's happening. Things are showing up. I mean, for me, it's like 5 minutes a day that I probably see that stuff. And it's on some platform where I'm gathering things to post. And I'm excited by it.
Yeah.
To me, it's like a comedy. And I'm not upset by any of it, because I know it's done. And I know that we've moved into a completely different frequency now, and it's time for it to collapse. So let's just let it collapse. And you don't need to participate in the collapse. Just enjoy what you're doing, because you're getting ready to create new stuff. So focus on that and just say, oh, good. I mean, it's just like if you got a new car and somebody bought your old car, and every once in a while you see it driving by you on the street and you say, oh, good, it's still, going. Congratulations to that person, right? But you're not wrapped up in it because you've let
Right.
it go.
Yeah, you got to let it go. The truth side of the equation is so important because people don't want to continue to hear the lies. We need truth. And I really believe, that, like my wife says, everything that is truth is bad and everything is, bad is good. Good is bad and bad is good. But I think it's shifted in a
Mhm.
big way. I could say that maybe you would say that a couple of years ago, that you will feel that way, during the whole 2020 thing and all of that, and you were feeling like, wow, this is really getting out of control, this thing. But it was all about waking more people up, because the more people that woke up, the more people that continue to increase their frequency, the more it adds it to the collective because we're all interlinked together. We're all living in the divine and it's living in us. It's like Christ said, the
Mhm.
kingdom of heaven is within you.
Yeah.
God's within you and you're within God. The Father's in you and you're in the Father. I mean, it's pretty obvious what he was talking about. When you look at all of these different spiritual leaders that visit this planet and you really pay attention to what they were saying, the power that we have, Christ again said about, you'll do these things in much more than I done. I mean, this guy was telling storms and seas to calm down. He was freaking
Mhm.
withered hands that were gone. He was bringing them back into full health. Freaking leprosy, people that had no chance at all, boom, completely healed. Women that were bleeding for 12 years, touching the coat, boom, healed. I mean, do you feel, Sister Honey, as we continue to increase that frequency, more and more of that type of stuff is going to become public where people are seeing? Because I know there's a lot of healing miracles
Mhm.
right now, but I feel like a lot of that stuff's going to be even more and more public, which will increase people's frequency and their faith.
Yeah, and if you think about it, everything is made of light and frequency. So once you know how to work with the light and the frequency, just like they built the pyramids, I mean, those stones didn't get moved by a whole bunch of guys with trees
Right.
underneath them. They floated, and they floated because of frequency, because of sound. And there was a guy who discovered that. He was a reporter. He went to Tibet and he watched them build something with sound and he recorded it on some ancient recording device. Like, I want to say it was back in the 30s or 40s or something. And immediately that was confiscated away from him when he got back to America. They didn't want anybody to know that you could build with sound. But all you have to do is look at cymatics, and it's just knowing what the codes are. That's why we don't have bells anymore. That's why they were all taken away, is because frequency is a great healer. It's a great builder. It does everything. And you can create with frequency, you can create with your voice, and all of those things are going to happen in the future. And we're going to learn how to do it for ourselves first. So talk to your cells, talk to your body, and start seeing what happens and start being grateful for it.
Yeah, that's powerful because one of the meditations that I'm doing, reading that book, Becoming Supernatural with Dr. Joe,
Mhm.
and there's things in there I already know, but then there's things I don't. And I picked up a couple different meditations to move the energy up through, the first three energy centers. They call them chakras, whatever. But anyways, you have more than even seven and one above your head. You have them in your hands. You got lots of energy portals going through your body because you're energy being.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, and I want you to talk about the soul too in a minute, how that layout, how you see that layout with the soul and the body and the spirit and all that, how that looks. But it's interesting that that we see so much going on right now with people waking up. Like even like I see people in the community where they're coming in and they're just like distressed. I mean, they're like
Mhm.
911 distressed. They don't know what to do. But yet I've noticed over the last couple of weeks, and it's been some intense energy, but I've noticed that it has pushed some people through that other side that maybe had one leg in and one leg out, but now they got more than one leg in and one leg out. They've got,
Mhm.
let's just say that the other leg is halfway in, totally in.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what's happening is, so the more room that you can clear from your body, and that's trauma. So the more trauma you can clear, the more stagnant ideas that you clear out of your subconscious, that makes more room for your energetic field to accept more of your soul into your body. So those fractals that we talk about all the time, here's my famous pine cone. So this is your oversoul. These little pieces where the pine seed would be, that would be a fractal. So we have many fractals coming in, and these fractals have knowledge. They've lived lifetime after lifetime. They have their own name, right? But they're part of your oversoul. And they've come in to share knowledge with you. So as we grow with these new fractals coming in, we're going to become more and more gifted to actually help with ascension. And that's why we're all doing this. You know, we came in with a purpose. And I don't think that even the universe knew all the ways that this would unfold. But it's amazing. And I think we're actually ahead right now.
So let me ask you a question. So we have the soul, and
Hmm.
when you're reading the Gnostic Bible, and it talks about the atom that was the spirit atom, right? The light being atom, Jur atom or atom, and then they seen him, they seen him in the watery substance, and they created him, down on the earth with the basically the bad angels, the not good angels created him,
Yeah.
and when they put soul in him, he still couldn't but do nothing but like flop on the ground. He couldn't get up and walk. He couldn't get up and do anything. It wasn't until the spirit was breathed into him
Hmm.
that it could walk. Can you explain? Because some people are very confused about soul, spirit, body. How does this, then you got the energy body, the magnetic shield around that body. How does that all lay out basically for?
You're gonna have to have a chart almost for that. But so this is how I feel about it. So the inner child is your human part of you. Your humans were the last soul group created. And they were created with pieces from all the other soul groups. So they have pieces of the angelics, they have pieces of the architect souls, they have pieces of the ET souls, and they have ET DNA, quite a bit of it. And and the Titans. So that's where they got their emotion. So human means the sum of all those soul groups. And humans really know how to create, but they've been creating by default for a long, long time and being told that they don't know how to create. So they're just creating whatever they're told, and that's changing. But that would be the inner child. So the human is the inner child. That's what I call it. And then you have your soul, which is gaining in, like, it's getting bigger because more of your pieces are coming down. When we started Ascension, we had a part of one fractal in our body. And that one fractal was our higher self. And it lived in our body, but not completely, just part of it, because it couldn't even get all the way in because it was so dense. Okay. And then you have the subconscious mind, and that's where all the programs are. Think of your computer, think of the hard drive, like all the programs of this is how this operates, this is how this works. And that subconscious mind is kind of mushy until we hit around 7 years old, 8 years old. So that's when people are really manipulated. They used to be really manipulated up until they were 7 or 8 years old. And you can kind of see that in the way that society started setting things up.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to go to preschool. Oh, you're 2? Get into preschool. Before that, daycare. Let's make sure that the moms have to go to work. So those kind of things. So you have your inner child, your mind, your body, which is made of liquid light, which we don't really know. I mean, people don't talk about that at all, but we're made of light slowed down to a certain frequency. And all of your cells have their own little pieces of consciousness. So you are your own universe as well. But I like to keep it simple and just talk about those 4 things. But yes, we have big energy fields and you can firm them up. And we have what's called a soul egg, and that is basically your body's inside of your soul. Your soul is not inside of your body because your energy radiates beyond your body. But all of that is kind of semantics, I think. The real thing is you're a player here. You're here in this learning game to play this game and to win it together because we all have a certain frequency key that's needed here. We're here to do it together. We're not here to do it, I'm the hero and I'm going to do everything. That's gone. We're not doing that anymore. So everything is about cooperation.
Yeah, there's a lot of, idolization that happens on this planet of human beings, idling
Mhm.
other human beings, and that needs to just be dissolved. And hopefully a lot of the stuff that's been exposed over the last few years showing the nastiness of a lot of these people, let's just put it to you that way, will get people to understand that you don't worship people, you don't idolize people, you don't
Mhm.
get involved in that. It's not about my ego or Sister Honey's ego or anybody's ego. It's about us working together in love and light and getting the job done before we either take this body with us and vibrate out of this when we're leaving it for the future generations, or we leave this body here and we're off regardless, we're still off. And we have an obligation and we owe it to the younger generations to really work the rest of the time we're here on making sure when we leave that this is settled for them. And we've got to handle the energy. I know it's hard for some people with these full moons. I mean, you can see it: stomach aches, headaches, migraines,
Mhm.
nervousness, anxiety, depression. They got all kinds of stuff going on besides people getting very angry. But I just breathe through this stuff, and I just been really learning and still learning on just taking it easy and relaxing a little bit and not, winding it full steam, getting up. I used to sit at my desk and not move
Yeah.
for like freaking 12, 13 hours, not even get up. Now, every hour or so, I'm getting up, unless I'm doing something like this. I'm walking around, I'm saying hi to my grandson, giving him a kiss on the head, going through, hey, Cindy, how you doing? Going through and just breaking it up a little bit more, breaking it up a little bit more. It's so important to work on getting the balance in all of these areas, I feel, more than ever. And what I love about what you're saying too is that eventually we'll set this planet to where everybody will have food, water, shelter, energy, and all the daily necessities, and they're actually going to be able to do what they're meant to do here on this planet.
Mhm.
And that's to build new. That's to build new systems and new everything. I mean, everything's been built in a box.
Yeah.
We're in a box. Like, we got to get out of this box.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to get out of this box.
It's so time to be out of the box and in a beautiful kind of material, whether it's stone or glass or, a natural, actual natural material. And there's going to be a lot of different choices. And I'm sure that we'll experiment with a lot of different things. But it's going to be so much easier because we're going to pool our knowledge versus gatekeeping our knowledge so that we have lots of money. I mean, that is not something that's going to happen in the future. We're going to be sharing our knowledge, and everybody will feel wealthy, abundant, and taken care of. So, why do we need to gatekeep anything? And I think that was a really icky thing that was going on in the past. And a lot of stuff was suppressed because of it. And that's not happening anymore. You can see it already, all the stuff that's rolling out.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's exciting times to be alive. Before you would never see a hydrogen car. You would
Right.
not see hydrogen power. The solar panels now are getting 1,000 more times efficient, they're saying.
Mhm.
They've got things that act like a mini sun for power.
Yep.
Once AI accelerates even further, it'll have a way to figure out how we can harness the sun and power everything without pulling any oil out of the ground, any gas out of the ground, anything from Mother Earth. It's like we're bleeding Mother Earth dry between the water, the oil, the gas, and all these things that she needs. But it's exciting times. It really is very, very exciting times. And one of the things that I said, I started doing, I'm journaling like more now. I always do it for
Mhm.
business. I'll do my column exercises like through each part, like what's serving me and what's not serving me, and really making myself aware of what's not serving me and removing that and putting in other things that will serve me to
Mhm.
occupy that space. And I think that most people, they don't do that. They don't like say, okay, well, this is not serving me and this is serving me, say in my overall wellness or, my relationship with my spouse or my business or my spiritual life or whatever. I think, becoming of like right now, again, we're in Mercury retrograde and we're
Mhm.
in it until like the 11th. I think we go back direct August. And during Mercury retrograde, it's always good to go back through things, organize, structure. Don't start anything new, but everything that you've got going on to go back through it, double check it, optimize it, really work on what you've already have. Do these column exercises so you clearly see what's serving you and what's not serving you in these different areas of your life and get rid of the stuff that's not serving you.
Yeah.
Weed your garden of life. Get rid of the negativity. You got a Facebook feed, you're seeing a bunch of nonsense of the crumbling. Get rid of it. You can choose not to see any of that stuff. TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Put spirituality in there. Go to, like this channel, subscribe to it. Start seeing Sister Honey in Brother Jimmie's shorts and these episodes. Share them with your family. Sow good seed out there. Come into the community. Be loved. You know, good, absorb your life into good stuff. Don't absorb your life into the negativity.
Mhm.
People say, "Oh, I don't have what? I don't have." No, stop saying I don't and start saying I am.
Yeah.
I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am healed. I am wisdom. I am knowledge. I am faith. All of that stuff is power.
Mhm. And being grateful for what you have in that
Yes.
moment. In that moment, what's good in your life in that moment.
Yes.
I think we've had a lot of teaching that has been very focused on discord and distortion and unhappiness. And you can see that in all of the shows that are out on the news, and it's all over in media. So really find things that are actually have something that's valuable in there if you want to watch it. Find things that are good for you, that feed your soul, that make you happy, and start to shift the perspective, because the kids are not going to tolerate that. They're not going to tolerate it, and they're going to be teaching us to let certain things go and to be with earth and to talk to each other. We don't even know how, a lot of us don't even know how to really have a good conversation with each other anymore.
Yeah.
So everything is shifting right now. And as you shift it into joy and into things that make you feel good, that's going to change your whole life.
Yeah, I was just reading something that says about the rise happens in the rest. And so that is so true. That your
Mhm.
rise does happen in the rest. It happens in the quiet moments. It happens in the meditation. It happens in the breath. You can't, if you don't breathe for 5 minutes, you're going to leave this body pretty
Yeah.
much. That's what Brother Brad said the other day. He would know he holds his breath 90 feet under the water and then comes back up with
Yeah.
no oxygen. But the breath is so important. You know, they breathed the spirit of life into Adam when he was just a piece of whatever laying on the ground to make it come up. They breathe life into stuff. So the breath is life. And you need to breathe through this stuff and slow your breath down and breathe. You know how many people don't breathe? efficiently. I mean, it's astronomical where people are basically suffocating themselves to death.
Yeah,
You know?
it's terrible. We're dehydrated. We lack oxygen. And the oxygen is starting to come in. I can feel that we have more oxygen than we used to. And that will keep increasing because beyond where we know the geography is, there's a lot more oxygen. And we're going to have a regreening that happens. Yes, we will still have some places that don't have a bunch of trees, but in general, we're going to have a lot more trees and a lot more vegetation than we have in the past because that's what Earth wants. It's her garden. This is her body. If you think about it, like we're walking around on her body, on the top of her head. And if she wants to scratch it by doing something like having an earthquake or whatever, she's doing it. So work with Mother Earth during these times because she can help mitigate those issues that you have, like a stomach ache and a headache. And because the energies are so big, you get negative ions as soon as you put your feet on the ground. It's almost instantaneous.
Yep, I do have one of those little devices I talked about before. It's a sneaky way to put them all through your house, and you'll see your people's their attitudes trying to start to change. Go
Yeah.
look, in the search engine, ChatGPT, about negative ions, positive, the effects of on humans and people, and it's pretty profound. And it's amazing that we cut half the trees down to cut that down, but it's going to go up. And those devices I'm talking about putting into these communities, and there are already hundreds of these devices around, but they will clean the air up. They will bring us back thousands of years, and they can do crop growing with
Hmm.
50% less water and like no pesticides, no any of that, and you get better growth. So it is going back to that. And there's a lot of technology that will help with that. Even copper. I mean, for drinking, copper for plants, copper. I mean, they started taking all the copper out, the copper plumbing in our house, the
Yeah.
fireplaces, the proper vented fireplaces. All of those things were taken out for a reason. The squareness, so the energy sticks in the corners and it doesn't flow freely. All of that's going to change because I do agree with you. Those younger generations, they want to live their life.
Yeah.
They don't want to be slaves to work.
No.
They don't want
No,
to be
they
slaves
didn't
to work.
come in for that. They're not here for that, and they're not going to put up with it. So, and they shouldn't have to.
No, they shouldn't have to because
Mhm.
life is more than that. But it's interesting. I'm excited about, this is our sixth episode again,
Mhm.
and we've been getting a lot of positive feedback. I would love everyone to share these videos, share the shorts. Something resonates with you, share it with other people. When you share with others and somebody can see this and then go into the community and get prayer and get healing and blessed, well, guess what? You led them there through your
Yeah.
action. So I know every morning when I get up after I do my meditation and prayers, I spend about 2 hours, total. And then I'll go and get some more coffee, go see the wife, eat a little breakfast. Then I come in, I go right into the spiritual community and I look and see who needs prayer, and then I give prayer. Who needs love? Then I give love and likes and all of that comments because
Mhm.
I want to have activity that helps do that. Just like you put in messaging, I put in messaging, other people are putting in messaging in there. People are praying for stuff. So this community online, if you don't have one in your backyard right now, it's a good place to be. You can go in there. You don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to take Sister Honey's word for it. You can go in there and see it for yourself. It's in there. You can talk to people. You can see what's going on. You can look at the other lives that we do. We do 3 lives a month for our
Yep.
free members. And plus, we do these episodes. And we're getting ready to start doing interviews with people to show you how they stepped into their power. Very successful people, but and started out dirt poor with nothing, okay, and went through all kinds of trials and tribulations, but never stopped, never gave up, kept the faith, and kept marching forward and ended up being able to do whatever they want to do in their life. And, more of those stories are going to be coming out. And if you have a story like that, leave it in the comments below. Let us know.
Mhm.
Lots of free stuff to help you in the Step Into Your Power community to help you succeed. Again, step into your power. Costs you nothing but your time. Stepintoyourpower.com. Yes, we have that domain name. I know some people are don't like the fact that we have that domain name, but that's okay. And again, support our sponsor, Bodyline Energy Wellness. They're helping us keep that whole community free, except for Ascension Mastery. And again, Ascension Mastery is for our folks that want to be guides, that want to take it to the next level, that want to expand with overflow, that want to be able to eventually have their own space when they're a guide within the community. There's a lot we're doing. We're going to be announcing more and more stuff, but get involved with us there. Again, it doesn't cost you anything to join for free, and
No.
nothing.
Right. And honestly, invest in yourself right now with
Yes,
other things. Like this makes me feel better. Wearing this band makes me feel better.
good.
And I have more energy during the day and I have to take it off. Like after this conversation,
You
I will take
will.
it off so I can go to
Okay.
sleep at night because it gives me more energy.
Focus
Yeah.
and protection. It's got
Yeah.
crystals, 3 different crystals in the band, and this is a body line thing. Sorry to cut you off, sister, in the links
Yeah.
below, but it does give you protection and helps balance that energy.
Right. And it's Tesla technology. So
Yeah.
I think it's important that we invest in ourselves as well. Like I'm investing in my own health right now. And it's certain things that I'm ingesting, it's certain foods that I'm keeping away from each other and certain foods that I'm eating together. I mean, there's so much that you can do when you love yourself enough to basically take yourself to the next level, and that's what we're doing is we're making a place where that's the norm.
Yeah, that's the norm. Before we go today, I want to just take a little peek back in the back office because
Sure.
I think that showing people that, we can talk about it, but showing them is different. It's a different thing. I want
Yeah.
to make sure that,
Let me know when I should see it
okay.
because sometimes it
I
doesn't.
know, I know sometimes I don't, let me go ahead and bring it on stage.
There it is.
Now you should see it,
Yay.
right?
I see it. Yep.
Yeah, and so this here, of course, when you come in, it's defaulted to white, and just because I have a really big screen, you see me looking up, like I'm kind of the chiropractor told me to keep my head up to get my neck back on my shoulders from looking down so much at computer screens over the
Mhm.
years. So I'm doing that, but it comes with white, but I always go and turn it to the dark mode because I like to see. I am a child of the light, but my eyes I like to see in the dark mode. It helps me a little bit. But in here, you have so much available, like under the practice portal, you have affirmations. So you've got daily affirmations, affirmation meditations, guided meditations, energy clearing techniques, journal and workbooks, healing frequency music. You have all of that in here for you to utilize 100% free. I mean,
Mhm.
these tools within this alone should get you through all of your seeker stages along with the free events. Now, we have Ascension Mastery, we have Ascension Mastery Training, Ascension Mastery Mastermind, that's for members only. But we have 3 different events. We just had one last week. This collective prayers is this week, and then energy body reset is next week. So we have these 3 lives every month for our free members. Also, we got guided updates where we
Mhm.
put all of these episodes that Sister Honey and I are doing back here. Also, we're going to be putting sacred guides back here. We got updates that we give here too. You see Brother Jimmie talking about brother and sister. It's a very powerful words and it's beautiful for people. Don't let them hijack our words. We're going to be doing our words, symbols, and numbers soon. Also, in here, I've got a number guide that you can go through and you can look at what numbers. You can read all the comments that are coming in from the members and what numbers are they seeing. And you can see what each number means and what practice portal tools should you use that are related to that number to help you. So you have the guide. So we're doing a lot back here. You've got the circle where you can communicate with people, post, inspirational stuff. You can comment on people. You got the feed of the chat where you can chat with people. You can see, people around you under members, who's near you. You can just use that with discovery. I mean, it is a wonderful community with wonderful portals. And the guess what? Begin here, walks you through it. An hour and 15 minutes of your life, whether you break it up or not, will take you through and you will know how to utilize every single one of these portals within the community itself. So there's nothing stopping you except yourself. And so go ahead and jump on in with us.
Yeah.
Become part of what we're doing. You,
It's a
sister.
beautiful place to be. And think about the energy. There really isn't any other place that is just all about being positive, going forward, letting go of things that are not in your best interests, in your highest good, and learning new skills to take care of you.
Yes.
I haven't seen anything like that.
I mean,
So,
the gratitude that we're seeing in there from people. And again, it's not about myself. It's not about Sister Honey. It's not about Brother Brad. It's not about my son Tommy. It's not about any of the folks in there. It's about you when you're in there. And how
yeah.
can you utilize this to become you, a better you, and someone that's on the right frequency and vibration so that you don't get any of the crumbling. You get all of the good stuff. So I'm really watching my energy associations, Sister Honey. I'm
Mhm.
really watching what I'm seeing, even on TV, everything. I'm watching it because I noticed. Again, we've talked about this before. The manifestation is on fire. It is happening like so
So
quick.
fast. Yeah. It is so fast.
It is
Mhm.
fast. It is fast. So once again, we're going to ask you to come and join our community. Become part of the soul family. That you're watching this for a reason. This isn't by accident. You're here right now for a reason. If you're not already part of the community, just go over there. It takes you no time at all to get signed up for the community, and then you'll be approved. And because it is a private community, but it's free. The main portals are free, and then of course Ascension Mastery is something that we're building spiritual guides for around the world to help lead by overflow in all these spiritual communities, but also as the community grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, we need more people to help with everybody that needs help in the community. And then as
Mhm.
it builds more, you start getting these clusters of people in your own backyard, and you can get congregation going in a physical location. And
Yeah.
as we anchor all of this around the world, I mean, it's going to be just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful
It
thing.
it is. It's the future of humanity. I mean, you're gonna have your own communities, your own council, and you're gonna have total sovereignty, and people in different places will be creating different communities, and they're gonna do it in different ways. Some of them may be focused on a crop, maybe they're focused on hemp, and maybe they're making clothing. Maybe that's what that community is about at the beginning. But eventually they will just be like small towns where everybody knows how to do something slightly different, and they bring in their own skill, and they enjoy each other, and they have a life that is safe, and it's kind, and people are positive, and the children get to grow up in a completely different kind of world. So, if you're one of those people that wants to create that, please come in and start to find the people that you're going to do that with.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, any closing words, Sister Honey, before we close down episode 6? Step into your power.
I would just say pay attention to you and let go of the outside world as much as you possibly can right now.
Amen to that. Well, we love you all very much. Very
Yeah.
excited. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. Take care. God bless. Make sure again, like, subscribe, and share. Take care, folks.
Bye, everybody.